Finally, I can tell you the foundation I've been talking about. I'm so sorry, this has been a really long time coming. Just know that I've had to keep this a secret for far longer than I've been sneakily showing it, okay? So let's all give me a pat on the back for keeping the best kept secret, being the best kept because it was kept by me, of the beauty industry. Okay, great. So today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about a few products that I've replaced with other new favorites. I did a video kind of similar to this back in the Decay. I think that was like over a year ago now. So I just felt like maybe it's time for an update. And what better time, because today's video is sponsored by Bite. Normally, let me just preface this with saying, I would never do a video like this for a sponsored video. I've been asked to do like favorites videos and stuff for sponsored videos, and I've never felt comfortable with that. Come at me about this, okay? This foundation is so bomb. I've been using it for so long. I love it so much. I don't even care. We're at the point where this sponsored video is essentially a favorites video. And that's all there is to it. So today, I'm so glad finally to tell you about this. Let me make sure there's no lipstick on my teeth. This is the Bite Changemaker foundation. I'm so excited to show you guys the whole range. So they have kind of like a system, they call it. So they have a primer that's all new, a foundation, and then a powder as well. And this is like massive for Bite because up until now, they've never branched into complexion, so this is like a huge change for this majestic, beautiful, wonderful Canadian-started company. So this whole collection is called their New Face of Clean collection, and it's launching today on Bite's website and Sephora as well. Anywhere else? That's it. Okay, bitebeauty.com and Sephora. It's launching today. And they also have new lip masks, and that comes in 2 different colors. And then they have a range of matte lipstick pencils as well. Everything in this collection is vegan, cruelty-free, and it's clean beauty as well. This was kind of Bite's whole thing. When they sent me the brief for this video, the first line was, "We were clean before clean beauty was a thing," and that was so perfect for them. So Bite kind of started out with lipsticks that had like a really high percentage of food-grade ingredients, and that was like their whole shtick. So they've kind of now brought that into the realm of foundation, which is just really cool. If clean beauty is your thing, if vegan, cruelty-free is your thing, they got you. The foundation is also gluten-free. It's just so you know. So you guys, with all that said, first of all, thank you so much to Bite today for sponsoring today's video, but thank you to you guys as well for supporting me as always. And let's jump into it. I can't wait to show you guys this new stuff and some of the products that I've replaced as well. Let's do this. Guys, I need you to support me in my endeavor to stop heat styling my hair as much, okay? My blonde hair, she just can't take it, and this is what we're left with when that happens, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna start my foundation with the Bite Changemaker Skin Optimizing Primer. I'm using the normal to dry one. So there is one for normal to oily as well. The way that they explained the skin optimizing situation is that you would choose your primer based on your skin type. So whether that's normal to dry, normal to oily, you get the picture. And then the primer will help bring your skin back to neutral. So then your balanced skin becomes the perfect clean canvas for their foundation. Okay, I love it. So the normal to dry one is a little bit more of a hydrating primer. It has olive oil in it. It has like a type of hyaluronic acid that has smaller particles that absorb easier. Not a scientist, okay? Nor am I an English major. Easier. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of that on my fingers, and I'm just going to rub that into my delicate skin. If I'm honest, I had a little bit of a realization the other day, because for years, I've looked at primers and been like, but why? Why do we need primers? And then I came to the understanding that I have been using primers all of this time. I just mix them with my foundation. So there you have it. So I do actually normally mix this primer with my foundation. It just kind of depends what you're going for. If you want to kind of like smooth your base out and just like have that kind of hydrating and act almost as like a barrier for your foundation, then you can kind of apply your primer beforehand. I like to mix them because I like that it kind of can sheer out that foundation if you're wanting to have it be just not as full coverage that day. So that's what I use this primer for most, is just like a mixing agent to make my foundation super hydrating and dewy and sheer. Okay, this is the moment that I've been waiting for, okay? Bite sent me the first sample of this foundation, like, I think it was almost a year ago. I was trying to like go back in my emails and find out like when that was, but they sent me like this tiny little bottle and they were like, this is our new foundation we're launching. And like, I think at the time they thought that it might be launching in 2019, but they were like, please try it out, let us know. And I tried it out and I was like, when is this coming out? Like, I was like, oh my God, this is like the worst. I hate like having to sit on a product for that long and be like, hiding things from you guys. It's not the life that I want to lead, okay? I'm not one to keep sneaky secrets unless applicable by law. Just like a lot of brands' cruelty-free stances, okay? This is the Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation. What a time to be alive. I'm ecstatic about this foundation. I cannot even describe to you. I've used it in a couple videos already, and I was being sneaky. I was being a sneaky Pete about it, but I couldn't help myself. And then Alana Rama was using a foundation too, being sneaky and being like, oh, this foundation's so nice, applying it with her fingers like she does. And then everyone was like, what's going on? And I FaceTimed Alana and I was like, is that the fucking Bite? Or did I text her? It doesn't matter. I contacted Alana and I was like, is that the fucking Bite foundation? And she was like, yeah, dude. It's so good. Anyways, okay, that's my intro. This foundation is a medium buildable coverage. It comes in 32 shades and I really like the way that they've kind of like laid out their shade range. Hold on, let me see if I can show you this brief. So if you can kind of see on there, they have it, focus on my shit. Okay, so they have it kind of broken up into light, medium, tan, and then deep, and there's 8 shades in each category. And I liked the way that they kind of set it up like that, just because it makes it a lot easier to kind of discern what shade you might be, especially if you're shopping online. So I really, really liked the way that they set that up, and I think that it's a really balanced shade range, which I'm just pleasantly surprised. Not really surprised, I'm just pleasantly happy, you know? As always, this product is vegan and cruelty-free, and it also is gluten-free, which is, you know, just great times. So let's jump into it, why don't we? I'm gonna be using the shade, I'm gonna be using the shade L40. A lot of the times I'll mix a shade. If I can just be honest here. And when I do mix, I will mix usually L30 and L40. Because I've had this foundation for so long, I've tried like a bunch of different ways as to like how to apply it. The only way I hadn't tried was my fingers, because I just don't do that. I'm not that person. And then I watched Alana's video where she was just like, la la la, and I was like, man, maybe I'm gonna put this on with my freaking fingers. And I actually really liked how it looked with my fingers, but I'm gonna leave that to Alana. She can do that and be, you know, our gentle skin beauty queen, and I'll just go for it like normal. I'm gonna use a brush, and then I'm gonna kind of blend out any excess product with my beauty blender. So I'm gonna be using my little e.l.f. 105 brush, and then I just kind of stipple it on to the areas that I need the most coverage. So for me, that's like my cheek area. I have this little redness situation happening. Once I have less product on my brush, I just blend out towards the outer parts of my face. Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole concept of this video until just this second. Wow, this foundation is the foundation that just took this right out of the frickin' runnings, okay, for my favorite foundation. So the Natasha Denona Face Glow foundation had been my fave for like years. I talked about my 2018 favorites, and I've been using it like ever since. Like, I just have loved that foundation for so long. And then I tried this foundation and I was like, Natasha, I just don't know what to tell you. this is the end for us, kind of. Like, I'm still gonna try and use up my foundation because I've repurchased like backups of that one. So I'm going to use it, but I'm gonna use it begrudgingly because I don't want to anymore. This is the foundation that's replaced it, and I'm just having the time of my life right now with it. So anyways, okay, stippling that on. Can't remember if I told you guys why I like to use a brush for this, but this foundation, for me, I prefer to apply with a brush and then kind of blend out with my beauty blender, just because I like to have a little bit less coverage when I use this guy. The texture of the formula is a little bit like thicker, almost kind of like, I don't know if any of you would have used this back in the day, but MAC had a foundation called Studio Sculpt, and it was like a thicker kind of like, I think they called it a gel formula. It's not as thick as that. That was like cement, but this is a thicker foundation. It's definitely not like a liquidy, like running all over the place, like Koza oil foundation. So because of that, I just find that it is like really, really good with coverage, but for me, I want to go for a little bit lighter coverage. So if you're wanting it fuller coverage, I would say apply it with a beauty blender just directly. And then if you want a little bit of a kind of like in-between coverage, you can go for my brush and sponge method. The only place where I will apply just directly with the sponge is on my little nose, because just foundation never applies smoothly there with a brush for me. Too many nooks and crannies, you feel? So I'm just gonna get my little mirror out, and I like to take the small end of my beauty blender and stipple some product on there and just start at the center of my honker here. And then I just blend upwards on the nose first, and then, I don't know why I'm going so in depth with this nose coverage, but I go upwards on my nose, and then once I have less product, I go on the sides, just because, you know, like sometimes you see people wearing foundation and they're like, you're looking at the side of their nose, and it's like just kind of like, there's just a lot going on. That's what I try to avoid as best I can, whilst still trying to get my coverage in. So I like to apply the majority of that foundation kind of going upwards on my nose into my little brow area, and then just press what's left on my beauty blender onto the sides of my nose so it's not looking super thick. Damn. I cannot even describe to you guys. I freaking love this foundation so much. So this foundation is what I would consider more of like a natural skin finish or like a satin finish. I may have described foundations like that in the past. So it's not what I would consider a matte. It's not what I would consider dewy. It's like right smack dab down the middle. So for me, this makes this a little bit more of a flexible foundation. Like if I was still a working artist, this is a foundation that I would feel like really comfortable stocking in my kit, because it's going to be flexible across different skin types. So it's not going to be something that's so dewy that when you put it on someone that has oily skin, they're like, okay, man, like this is just, and then, you know, with dry skin as well, it's not going to look so matte. So this is how this ends up looking on my skin. You can kind of see like the light sort of catches. Obviously I'm not wearing concealer. Let's not talk about it, okay? You can, wow, damn. This looks like I haven't slept in years. And if that's the truth. Anyways, you can see how the light kind of catches, and so this still has kind of like a little bit of like reflectiveness, and it still looks glowy and like youthful and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like glow, it's not shine, you know what I mean? So this is kind of like right down the middle, which I have to say, I have been opting for foundations that kind of are more in this direction rather than things that are already super dewy, just because I predominantly apply, as we all know, I predominantly apply like exclusively cream products, basically. Let's just take predominantly out of the fucking dictionary and just say it's exclusive. Because I'm applying so many cream products over top of my face, sometimes what I end up feeling like is that my whole face looks really dewy. So instead, I'm kind of just keeping it in certain areas where like I want my cheeks to look nice and dewy, and I have my nice little dew kind of from my bronzers and all that kind of stuff, and then the rest of my skin in areas where maybe I don't want to look as glowy is a nice skin texture, not matte, because I'm not that person and I never will be. Mark my words, I feel comfortable saying that. So that is that foundation. Damn. I'm so in love. Okay, finally. I'm so glad that I can finally talk about this. Hold on, let me grab my other things. One other thing about this foundation before we move on, I really like how it wears on my skin because it feels really like long wearing, like it lasts a really long time, but it doesn't seem to like settle into fine lines and stuff. And that's kind of an issue I've been having with foundation over the past few years is like, I keep saying it, guys, I'm getting older, okay? It's just the truth. I don't know what to tell you. So this is where we're at. I like long wearing foundations because I don't want to have to worry about touching up my makeup throughout the day. I just want to like do it in the morning and then go and not have to worry. But a lot of the foundations that I found that are longer wearing, I mean, they're like hanging on, but not in the right way, you know, like an X. It's not like a cute kind of like long-term thing. But this is a cute long-term thing, so I've really been enjoying it for that. The third part in the Changemaker system is a powder. So if you guys do want either a little bit more coverage or you want to mattify further, if you do have oilier skin or you just like the appearance of a matte foundation, then they do have their powder range as well. So there is 8 shades total in the powder range, and the whole idea behind this is that it allows you to be more flexible with your coverage. So if you do want to amplify that coverage, you can go in with your powder. If you want to mattify, go with your powder. I'm gonna opt out today. I think it's a beautiful formula, but I'm happy with this coverage and I like the way that it's looking right now because I like to be even and cover up this redness, but still have people know that I did at one point have intense acne so that I can garner some sympathy, you know? That's my foundation routine. So that is the Bite Changemaker system. What a delight. So glad this is off my chest. So I never have to keep a secret from you again, except for I probably will in the future. Maybe I will. It's kind of been a little bit fun for me as well. Let's move on to the next product that has been replaced, okay? And that feels a little harsh because I wouldn't say that this has been fully replaced. I still really, really love this formula a lot. It's being replaced due to the fact that I'm out of it, the fact that I really like this formula I'm about to talk about, and because this is just not as easy for me to get, and I hate paying for shipping to Canada. It makes me ill, okay? The Oume Concealer, I've talked about it quite a bit on my channel this past year. I think this concealer is fabulous. I love the coverage. I love like the appearance of it on your skin, like the finish of it and everything. Beautiful, beautiful concealer. I can order it through the Oume Beauty website, but honestly, like I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for Ulta to open in Canada so that I don't have to pay the $5 shipping. I don't even know what the shipping is because I just refuse. I refuse. And the Ulta that's across the border from me doesn't stock it, so that's really hurtful. Anyways, I would say that for now, it's been replaced by the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush concealer. I just recently did a video with Hourglass as well to talk about this concealer, and it's just so nice, frankly put. And I really like these two together, these two products, because I just feel like they look great. It's so weird doing my concealer after my foundation. Who am I? See, it's so funny. Like now I feel like that almost looks too light, but when I put it underneath and then put my foundation over top, I don't feel that way. You know? Let's blend out that side before it starts setting. So while I really love the Oume concealer, I've been bumming this Hourglass one real hard. And I will say it's super full coverage. However, the other day I put like one dot right in the most offensive part of my eye bags, and just like blended that out like super well and didn't put on like anything else, like no foundation, like nothing, just because like I was running out of the house and I was like, man, like I don't want people to see me like this, but like I'm not ready to like do the whole shebang, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't ready to like get ready just to go grab a baguette. Give me a break, okay? So I put like the tiniest little bit of that concealer on and blended it out really well, and it was still like beautiful. It didn't look super full coverage, and even when I went outside into like the real outside world and like looked at the concealer in my car mirror, I was like, still looks pretty good, because you know sometimes you like put on product and then you go outside and you're like, oh, whoa, this does not look what I thought it was gonna look like. But when you're in your bathroom, everything looks nice, and then you step outside and it's like, oh Jesus, who did this? But no, that was not the case. So long story short, I've been liking this concealer. I'm gonna take a little tiniest bit of that foundation on the end, the Bite foundation, on the end of my Beauty Blender, and just kind of stipple over the edges of that concealer because I'm insecure about it, because it's so weird to put it over top of my foundation. And that's it. Beautiful. So in lieu of not using a powder, I am going to use my little... I haven't put on any other makeup yet. Why would I set my foundation already? Hold on. I actually am going to set this right now because I'm going to be moving on to other parts. So let's just do this. So I'm taking my little Becca Skin Love Glow Shield Prime and Set Mist. Oh, wow, the pump on that is super whack. Look at this shit. What the hell? Becca, why you gotta do me like that? Look. Let me get out my fan. Let me get out my fan. The next product that I've replaced, I've been kind of like all over the place with my eye primers, okay? I was trying to use up my Fenty primer. Never happened. I did not use it up. It takes quite a while to use up an eye primer, if we're honest. And I had been using concealers. I've been using my Urban Decay Primer Potion. I was just kind of all over the map with it. I hadn't found one. I mean, Urban Decay was my one for a long time. I really loved that primer potion. What happened? Did I run out of it? Did I just stop for a while? Well, I just don't know. But I would say that that was like my holy grail for a long time. However, that just went right out the window. Nastasia Eye Primer. This eye primer is super light. It's really like intense coverage, but it is so good. Like oh yeah, I was trying to use that Louise base too. Okay, so the P. Louise base, everyone would do, I don't know, maybe everyone wasn't doing this. I felt like everyone was doing this. Everyone would put that thing down. I'm going to continue to generalize. They'd put the P. Louise base down and then they would go in like while the primer was still wet, and I was like, crazy people, what's wrong with you? Like, that made no sense in my mind, because anytime I had put a dry powder foundation eyeshadow over top of a like creamy still wet primer, it got patchy, obviously. Like, it looked so bad. And so I never understood like why people were doing that and how it was like working for them. This is the only primer that I've ever been able to like really do that over and not have it be a pain in the ass to like blend out after. So I love this eye primer. It wears really beautifully. It's really nice for doing like cut creases with and stuff like that, you know, where you take a little bit more primer and do the cut crease situation. It's just like, it's just gorgeous. I love it so much. I'm gonna take a little bit of that on my little eyes. And I will still set this one from time to time, but I definitely don't feel like I need to. Like, this is a ridiculous amount of coverage for this tiny little bit of product, and I always pump out too much of this. You'd need like a pinprick. I'm kind of like hopeful that they come out with more colors. So the whole like thing behind it being super light is that it will make like eyeshadows brighter. I'm pretty sure I saw Norvina tweeting about that, or maybe I just made it up, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that that was like the whole thing behind why they only had the one shade. But I am hoping that they come out with more like skin tone shades of this, just because, I don't know, I just think it would be kind of nice. I am going to set that with just a little skin tone shadow, because I don't know what I'm doing with my eyes yet. If anything, I'll probably like go off camera and finish my eyes, because we're making this about the products that I've replaced, and I haven't replaced any eyeshadow palettes. So let's set that for now and come back to that at a later date. Okay, the next product that has been replaced, I never thought that this would come out of my mouth. I think I've talked about it recently that I did end up replacing this, but Glossier Boi Brow was everything I've ever wanted and more. I loved this like brow gel, and tinted brow gels are my religion. Like, I think they are one of the most underrated products this side of Texas, all right? I love a tinted brow gel. I use it every single day without fail. Even if I'm not doing makeup, even if it's like I'm laying in bed, I'm like, maybe I should just put a tinted brow gel on, because it's like the easiest and quickest thing you can do to just like spruce shit up, okay? Glossier Boi Brow was like my holy grail. I loved it so much. And then I tried the M Cosmetics one. First things first, let me show you this crazy, there's all these like hairs caught in it. So this is the brush for the Glossier Boi Brow. It's like a little bit short and kind of like chubby. And then this is the brush for my M Cosmetics Micro Fluff Brow Gel. And it's a lot longer and it's really, really, really thin. The thing that I like about this, because I've been trying to be like, what is it that like just makes this so much better? I just feel like it's a lot more precise because that brush is so fine and so thin, so I don't end up getting any excess product on my skin. So that's the biggest thing. I also just really like this color more than I like the color from Glossier Boi Brow. The range with the Boi Brow is like really limited, which is like all fine and good, but it's just, I don't know, I didn't want something that dark anymore, but their blonde was like too light for me and too like warm toned as well. They only have 4 shades in the M Cosmetics one as well, but I just find that this one, I use blonde, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this one just is like my perfect color. Usually when I'm doing my brows, the first thing I do is go through with my my Tinted Brow Gel. So I'm gonna use my M Cosmetics one and I'll kind of show you guys the difference. So maybe you guys can't tell the difference, but I just feel like this makes all the difference in the world. I just like that this kind of like sets your brows into place and makes them look like a little bit more kind of like shapely. It fills in the brow hair that you already have without adding a bunch of additional product. So it's never gonna look really like harsh and heavy. Like if you accidentally over apply like a brow powder or a pencil or a like pomade, like a dip brow kind of thing, it's just like not going to happen. So a lot of the times, like if you already have full brows, you can kind of just go through with that Tinted Brow Gel and it's usually more than enough to give you like a really nice sculpted look. But if you want to like add a little bit more, I still like putting that brow gel through because you get a better idea of where you really actually need that product to fill in any like missing gaps. So that's the next product that's been replaced. And honestly, M Cosmetics isn't super easy for me to get either, but I'm just gonna have to go the mile. I'm gonna step off screen and probably also shut off my camera for what it's worth. And I'm gonna do my eyes and then we can jump back and we can talk about a couple other products, and let's do that right now. Okay, bye. We're back with our eyes done. It's all coming together here. So the next product that I've replaced, only physically but not in my heart, is MAC Warm Soul. And this is not an exact dupe, let me just say that, because there will never be an exact dupe for MAC Warm Soul. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you decided to join our community. MAC Warm Soul was one of my like favorite products of all time. Nothing ever topped it. It like just, it was the best. And then they reformulated it, which they will not admit to. But I know the difference because I have a MAC original Warm Soul and I have the reformulated one, and they just look so different. So it's my biggest heartbreak of my entire life, and I'm always trying to find a blush that kind of replicates that same feel. So the thing that I really liked about Warm Soul was that it had like originally kind of like a sheen to it, but it definitely wasn't glittery or like chunky or anything like that. So it just looked really, really nice and glowy on the skin. It also leaned a little bit more orangey toned, which I just thought was really nice as well, because there were so many blushes that were just like pink, pink, pink. And that one was a little bit more kind of like golden feeling. So that was what I liked about it. The blush that I would say I've like replaced it with, so to speak, is the Koza Tropic Equinox blush. And I'll show you like a side by side. This blush, I just feel like when I put it on, it kind of is like reminiscent of the feels of Warm Soul. So they're not exact like identicals by any means, but here they are. So that one on the bottom is the Tropic Equinox one, and Warm Soul is on the top there. So Warm Soul is a little bit more pinky. This definitely has more kind of like that orangey peach to it. And Warm Soul also has a little bit of that kind of like glitter that I was talking about, but the Koza one is a cream blush, so it does give you like a nice glow as well. So I'm gonna take that on a clean e.l.f. 105 brush, and I'm just going to like dip into that ever so slightly because this is really, really pigmented, so you need like the tiniest little amount. And I'm just going to stipple that onto my cheeks and brush it into our little bronzer and contour that's already applied. I mean, nothing will ever be the same, you know, but it's a similar feel, and I like that it just gives that little extra bit of glow. So let me put on my liquid highlight real quick. Liquid highlight is on. Cream blush is on. We also had a cream contour on, but I did go over top of it with a powder bronzer. So just to kind of jump back to the whole foundation thing I was talking about with wearing like a more like satin finish, this is what I like about it, is that my whole cheek doesn't end up looking like, this whole side of my face doesn't end up looking dewy. You're kind of just catching that dew and like glow and creaminess on the actual like cheek and highlight area. So it just sort of like emphasizes that it's not like your whole face is glowy, making it look a little bit too much. This to me looks a little bit more balanced, and it's kind of how I've been doing the dew lately. So I just wanted to show you that. So for my lips, this is a new product from Bite as well. So this is their new Power Move Creamy Matte Lip Crayon. There's 20 shades. I actually haven't gotten the chance to try this yet because they just sent it out. So I'm gonna try this. This is in the shade No Nino. I have a little bit of my like agave lip mask on, and I'll start right here. Ugh, all the Bite lipstick smells so good. I like that formula. It's really like, got a lot of coverage to it. You know what I mean? Got a lot of girth in the coverage department. Oh, it has a lot of coverage to it, and it's really, really nice and creamy. Like, it doesn't feel like dry or like shitty on my lips. I'm the best at descriptions, and you're welcome, everyone, for that. I hope that enticed you to put this on your lips. It's not shitty. That's really nice. I'm gonna have to pick up some more colors now that it's available. It's not available today, though. That's the problem. The day that I'm filming this, it's not available. So I'll just set my alarm for 4 days from now. I do love a Bite lipstick, but I will say, like, I'm ecstatic about them dipping their toes into other areas of the beauty world, and I cannot wait to see what else is coming. I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else that's coming out, so don't even ask. But that's our finished look for today. Those are some of my products that I've replaced with new faves, and that's it. Thank you again to you guys for watching this video. Thank you to Bite for sponsoring today's video, and Bite, excellent job. You're the best. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace out.